Well, thank you. I do try. And yeah, opening up the sort of lowered. I'm guessing there's like a kind of lower door into the basement itself.
Yes.
So going in there, just don't touch that. Don't touch that. Whatever you do, don't trip on this cable. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. That's very important. Whatever you do, don't even go. Don't look at it. It's.
I presume I hear this commotion as they come in and probably trip over things.
Absolutely. Unless somebody specifically says they trip over something, though, nobody's tripping over anything.
What's the roll for that?
No. No rolls for that, my man.
I never trip.
Mikhail's pretty good about it, keeping on his feet.
But yes.
I told you they'd be fine. They can handle themselves.
I'm going to take one look at Priscila, just covered in blood, and look back to Zlata.
I mean, I haven't turned around. I'm not looking. I haven't looked at them yet. I'm still doing my work. we're doing science here, man. Alchemy. I gotta do this very carefully, or the whole building's coming down, probably.
And what is this little thing here for? He points at something random. Just pointing.
Just gonna.
The particular thing he's pointing at is actually a vial of black. It almost looks like oil. The same consistency as oil. Really only Zlata would be able to tell you what that is. It's not something kindred are not really something they work with.
You should lick it.
Don't.
No.
I presume I know what they're like. I presume this is vitriol.
Yes, it's vitriol.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Don't as I'm pulling my gun.
Touch her vials.
But yes, that's quite important for other research. Difficult to obtain. Difficult is I use that very, very lightly. Near impossible to obtain normally.
So it will sell for a good amount?
Well, I mean, how much is your vitae worth? I mean, I can take all of it if you wish. You can have it.
Maybe not worth that much.
How much is a life worth?
It depends on the life.
On who's.
I was gonna say, how much is yours worth, Zlata?
Yeah. How much is mine worth? Well, I'm.
Let's go ahead and put a number on yours. I am quite poor, so.
Yeah, good luck finding a buyer. No one else is doing this work because they're not as stupid as I. Perhaps not as.
I don't think you understand. That's not very a compliment, but okay.
Well, if you understood what we're doing here, well, what I'm doing here, well, I mean, what my colleague is doing here is important too, but, you know, alas, you wouldn't understand. Carthians are too busy with politics. I'm gonna, shudder as I mention politics.
My involvement with politics isn't quite as invested as others, but you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't even bother. You wouldn't even bother getting.
It's true.
Never mind. It's not even important. So how much longer are you gonna be in your office?
Have I made any progress? Probably not, because I'm doing work that's probably going to take many nights.
I mean, this is in regards to the theorized drug that you wanted to work on?
Yes, I figured that's a good place to start work.
Go ahead and give me the roll. Intelligence plus occult plus your coils of Ziva as your pool.
Any of my specializations apply here: coils of the dragon, alchemy, lab work, etc.
Alchemy, yes.
I mean, I'm not technically using science, so I mean, I'll just roll it without because it could be argued otherwise.
6 successes. You've made a modicum of progress for how early it is in the night.
It's been a productive night, I suppose. Would not be off schedule if I ended it early today. Why is there? Well, I suppose I should ask, what did you do that we need to bail you out of?
I don't know how much damage I made. Both property and human. I know for a fact that I nearly killed one fat chef.
Well, if you're feeling a little disconnected from humanity, I do have a treatment I can prescribe. It would tie you a bit closer. It's not a pleasant one, of course.
I'm fine at the moment.
Then what can I do for you? I can. There should be there's a TV upstairs. You can go turn on the news. They might be reporting on what you've done by now, I presume.
That is true. I will be making the 6 o'clock news. All right. I proceed to go up the stairs.
And up the stairs you go. It doesn't take you long to find the living room. It's modestly furnished. You guys don't spend a lot of time inside the townhouse proper. So, bare essential furnitures. Couch, TV. TVs might even be just sitting on the floor. The news is playing regarding the attack, is the word they use. They talk about how this person barged into the bar, nearly disemboweled a man before biting onto his neck and dropping him like a sack of meat, is the term the bartender uses. The bartender goes on to state how the person escaped into the kitchen and seems to have ripped out the throat of his chef. The problems with this are twofold. One, there's 2 bodies to be cleaned up. The other one, depending on your interpretation, this could be a masquerade breach. So not only will human authorities be interested, but should any of your compatriots in other coteries or lone wolves catch wind of it, the heat on your coterie will be increased.
Well, I'm screwed. Again. I don't think this is my first time.
Did anybody go up with her to check the news?
I'll sort of join shortly after saying it. And you say you're screwed. Who said this was you?
That is true. That is true. They haven't shown any images or videos, and nobody has described anybody.
I mean, everyone this side of the strait is going to know that it was a vampire, at least those that are connected to us. However, which one? Anyone you have a particular dislike to?
Not that I could think of at the moment. But at the moment, my mind is racing 100 miles per hour right now.
Bathroom's upstairs. Go and get yourself cleaned up.
I think I will.
Clear your head. Then we'll talk.
I kind of stand up and look at my bloody, drenched clothes.
Yeah, at this point it has begun to dry, so it is rather stiff clothing.
Okay. I make my way towards the bathroom as he suggested and get myself cleaned up.
While that's going on, just Louis will go and see what he's got that might work in terms in his wardrobe, just something that she can change into.
All right. While Louis is doing that, what exactly is Louis thinking about the current situation?
He's basically going through his enemies list of going, who can I pin this on? Essentially, just get word out that it wasn't one of us, and beat everyone else to the circulation of rumors. Get the rumor mill turning before anyone else does.
Excellent. Mikhail. You stay downstairs with Zlata?
Yes, he's gonna. So Zlata, you have this much stuff I could put out into circulation. I assume we had that deal going.
Mm-hmm.
Still working on producing it. We've made good progress tonight. But of course, if we keep well, I don't know what happened. I don't particularly care what happened, but if both human authorities and kindred authorities come knocking on our doors here, work can get stalled.
Yes. This is not good for business.
No.
I will have to. I can make a few calls, make some things happen. I think I could work that. Mikhail thinks, who can he call? He does have a few points in organized crime, so you might be able to call and.
Do you wish to pull those strings?
Till he has a little more information, a few more ideas, he's going to hold on that.
All right. Priscila, you are, once you finish cleaning up, there seems to be a pile of clothes sitting at the door that Louis has left for you to go ahead and get changed into, since yours are going to have to be cleaned or disposed of.
Acid wash?
If it's acid, we probably got it here, I'm gonna be honest.
Just imagining like a sort of sudden cut to Louis in the back garden near an incinerator with this everything just on a stick, just kind of.
Sometimes that's what you need to do. So, Louis, after dropping off the clothes and going through your little black book of enemies, what exactly are you going to do?
I'm going to rejoin Zlata and Mikhail downstairs. And, well, seems we have a celebrity in our midst.
Why? What? She on camera? What happened? What did she do?
Not on camera, but the story's on at least being covered locally.
I may be able to make a few calls, but I think we need someone else to pin this on, I think.
My thoughts exactly.
Anybody in mind? I am new. I don't really have many enemies yet.
Okay. Who would I know in town that probably take an instant dislike to?
Do the Order Dracul really have a whole lot of enemies? I mean,
He's his own person.
well,
I was gonna say, yeah, you don't do the things that Louis has done and not make a few enemies.
Louis has enemies.
Exactly. It's one of those lists that there's a lot of people on that list that you just personally dislike. Few Invictus people come to mind, which could also create a nice little political move because it's on your guys' side of the strait. There's a few rivals that have been targeting you guys since the disappearance. It's a smorgasbord of names that you could throw out. So it depends on how you want to twist it.
Yeah, I'll reel off the names that are viable and.
All right. A couple of the names. There is Ozbek from the Invictus side. He is a low man on the totem pole, but he always seems to find himself doing some sort of business over on the Carthian side. He's been caught numerous times over here. there's a Hachi, Haci. He is a local kindred that has delusions of grandeur. Of course, if you ask him, they're not delusions. And with the missing prefect, he is gunning for that position pretty heavily with his campaigns. With how close your coterie is to, or how close your coterie was to the prefect, you are a substantial blockade to him. There is Ari, A-R-I. She is actually a human that has unfortunately twisted certain policies in the region that have made certain aspects a little bit more difficult. She keeps levying the Turkish penal code to her favor to try and screw over local businesses. Definitely Mikhail has already had run-ins with her. And just because of how much of a nuisance she is, she has popped up on your radar.
I'm guessing that Louis knows about Zlata's cookery as well.
How
In the same lab, he'd probably know more than anyone else.
Any chance that you could make up something a little more specific? Thinking more of the side effects.
Based on the framework we're trying to make now, I don't know. I don't know if the framework will even work. But poison can be made. It's ethical? Probably not.
When has that ever concerned me? What I was thinking is maybe a narcotic hits the streets. Something that would induce some kind of bestial quality in its users.
Cause mass psychosis in the slums of the city. Roughly, how difficult would that be to manufacture? Like, is this something I could even say, oh yeah, I know how to do that, or is that going to be more like research?
What exactly are you trying to create?
Sounds
Basically, that we can pin this on a person who's that something's hit the streets, and this is probably this is going to be the first recorded account of it, and then it gives us an option for Ari that evidently taken this new drug that induces this almost animalistic, that can introduce an animalistic rampage in people who take too much or whatever. It's a side effect.
It is something that Zlata could pull off. It would just be a modification of bath salts, almost.
And for one time, as a one-time offer, I will be your assistant. Don't let me say that again, ever. Please.
sure what assisting you can do when the work is uncharted. Unless you feel like
Maybe we're on the verge.
more risky mixtures and accidentally catching yourself on fire, I'm not sure what you could help with.
The offer remains should you need it.
Well, I guess I pause my research into Solus, and I guess we start making drugs.
And what say you, Mikhail? Get rid of your little problem while we're at it as well.
She has been difficult to work with. I think this could work. I have a few people. They could spread some rumors, plant some evidence. Yeah.
Now, I don't wish to, interrupt this brilliant plan because it does offer just practice in what I'm doing here. But would releasing a drug onto the streets not cause more restrictions? Especially one
Oh.
that could cause a violent outburst. Surely they would crack down on this more. It would simply hurt your businesses more.
Maybe a minimal release, just 2 or 3 isolated cases. And then the drug miraculously disappears. The police do a wonderful job. Everybody applauds. The children are safe once again.
And it is not something I would normally circulate in my area.
Whatever, I leave the logistics to you. I simply need to produce it. And I start doing some quote-unquote alchemy.
Go ahead and this'll
If meth labs are alchemy labs, that's what I'm doing today.
Potato.
I can support in teamwork if you like.
all right. Go ahead and take a +2 dice to your dice pool through his assistance. It'll be intelligence plus. You have crafts, correct?
Yeah, I have 1 point of crafts, but I do have crafts, yes.
It would definitely be underneath craft, unless you have science at higher.
Well, science is higher, yeah, but I don't know if I need it any higher. I mean, I can roll another 2 dice to see what happens. Do I get any more successes? No.
All right, 4 successes. You have. Luckily, you have lying around the stuff to create just standard bath salts. It might take a little bit longer than the time that you're spending right now to finish it, but you do have the basic bath salts created now. This roughly takes an hour or 2 for you to do. In the meantime, Mikhail and Priscila, what are you two doing while they spend the next couple of hours working?
Mikhail is calling some contacts, dealers, scapegoats, people that make other scapegoats. Basically, he's gonna start rumors going about Ari and plant a bit of evidence here and there leading to her. It's a her, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Get all
Get the wheels going. Priscila.
Along with Mikhail's implantation, I'm gonna go ahead and call up my secretary and see if we can get our hands on maybe some of the police records or paperwork that they've already started filing, since I have connections with the police department.
All right. How many dots in that do you have? Because this is a substantial amount of risk they would be taking, giving you information about an ongoing investigation.
I have 3.
If you want to do this, somebody's gonna lose their job at the police station by doing this. So if you want to do this, I would state you would need to terminate 2 points of that merit. You would lose a lot of your connection. They'll do it, but it's gonna stain your reputation with the police. obviously, with the sanctity of merits rule, you'll be able to put those points into something else. But I'm just letting you know that you're going to burn points of that merit to do this.
True. I feel like as a detective, the police department already doesn't like PIs. So I'll go ahead and just burn it then.
All right. Your secretary says I'll make a few calls and I'll have something by the end of tonight. I'm hoping that these names that you gave me, they pan out. This is the cops are going to definitely be looking at us if this person gets caught and, loses their job.
They'll find another one.
Okay, and she hangs up the phone and begins to do her work. With that, are you going to rejoin the rest of the group downstairs in the lab?
Yes.
All right. Since we're kind of at a standpoint here, go ahead and give me your next roll, Zlata.
Taking science just because it's higher? Or
For consistency's sake, keep it with craft.
favor?
Another 3 successes. Well, it's maybe not as potent as you might want it to be for this type of reaction that it supposedly had. It is from what you can tell, is workable. Obviously, you don't have any viable test subjects to actually test it on to prove if it works. But the chemical structure and the work you've done is good. It theoretically should work.
Can I add something to give it maybe a bit more of a kick?
Such as?
Vitae.
Well, Zlata?
Well, work, it's probably not good enough yet. Is this something? Does it work like that? Does putting Vitae in things? Could that even work?
Putting Vitae in things has been known. As long as it's relatively fresh, it works for the process of ghoulification. Could ghoul somebody by putting Vitae in their tea, so I mean, it is a bit of a possibility. Mikhail has personal experience with this.
I've seen a guy try that. It was pretty funny.
It's more what happens when the effects wear off.
Mm-hmm. So it is something that if you want to spend the point of Vitae to contaminate it with it, go right ahead.
Yeah, so just gonna cut his wrist with a scalpel, and sort of tense it. So just a few drops of Vitae sort of go into the petri dish or whatever you're working in, and cool.
Blood, not mine. I suppose at this point, whatever work I could have done to refine it probably wouldn't apply now that there's Vitae in the mixture. Make it to be more complicated, I presume, to work with.
And it would also switch the skill needed to occult. However,
By occult sire.
yeah, as stated, it is in a workable condition, so if you want to get it out, it could be done now. If you want to refine it further, the other two will be watching you over a petri dish for the next couple of hours. Unless they have something else they want to do, since Louis is assisting.
Want
Mikhail's-
mediocre or do you want perfect?
I mean, does it work now?
Go ahead and try some.
It has my vitae in it. It's all.
Hmm. I'll take your word for it. It's
It
not
has my
something.
vitae. Yeah. Sorry. It has my vitae in it. It's already perfect.
Agree to disagree, because it's not finished.
Well,
Could
it's
have added perfection to it already perfect, and we could have had double the perfection. But alas, we were hasty in our work. Oh well. The actions of our coterie. Coterie? Is that how you?
Coterie.
coterie.
The actions of our coterie have forced a quicker hand here. I would
would say if
time.
this is something that I was putting out, then yes, I would say you put more work in it, make it good stuff. But this is something we're pawning off on somebody else.
Also, I do know that your townhouse has several dots in safe place. How many dots is it total between the two of you?
I have 1 dot only.
I've got yeah. I've added a dot in Haven, so security.
Okay, so the place would have cameras?
Is it? Sorry, let me check this. I think it's Haven actually makes it easier to. It's like blackout curtains and things. It makes it
Okay.
easier to arise awake during day sleep.
I don't know if this is a very secure building with only safe place 1.
Alright.
So, oh great, we're gonna get broken into. Gosh.
And some thick curtains.
Yeah. Alright, if everybody could give me a perception check. Since you guys are in the basement, go ahead and take a 2-die penalty on it.
Oh no, where's those curtains?
You're just nerfing me into ground. Hey, look at that.
I didn't roll. Hold on, need to roll one more.
I'm sorry, which one are we rolling for?
Perception with a -2 penalty.
Nothing.
3. And -2?
Yes.
Okay.
Both Mikhail and Priscila hear a knock upstairs. As if somebody's knocking on the door, not as if somebody's knocked something over. The other two are too engrossed in their work for them to notice.
You think they were expecting company?
I
Expect
don't.
you as company.
I don't think they were expecting company. I'm pretty good at staying in the shadows. I'll go with you to answer the door, but I'll stay out of sight. And then,
Okay.
yeah, assuming I have another hoodie because of my ugliness, I'll go ahead, put on, and back to just facing the crowd, just trying to stay as hidden as I can.
All right. So you're gonna go upstairs and open the front door, Mikhail?
Yo, did they have a peephole first?
They do not.
It's on the list now. People.
Get a drill.
That's safe space 2.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we did not invest too. I mean,
No curtains.
we
No
want to like, mitigate this. I didn't redistribute the merit points from like unnatural affinity. I mean, we can like make cameras appear out of thin air, but I think that would be kind of no.
Yeah, no. So do you...
So then he's going to crack the door, peek out. Yes?
You are greeted by another predatory aura. It is not a face you particularly know very well. This person's name, the man, appears to be roughly in his late 50s, which is a little old for an embrace. His name is Shem.
Sham.
You don't know his last name, and he kind of stands, shoulders back, chest out, a little bit puffed up. Go ahead and Priscilla, are you able to see through the crack, or are you staying behind the door? Because you might know this man a little bit more than Mikhail does.
I was actually gonna stand behind the door, so I have.
Okay. So he speaks in a very deep voice. Mikhail, isn't it?
Who is asking?
My name is Shem. I was an enforcer of sorts when the old prefect was in charge.
Ah, yes, the name rings a bell. Yes. What can I do for you?
I'm sure you've checked the news.
At the bar, right?
Yes. Problematic for our kind, this is. While our prefect is missing, I'm still doing my job. So I'm making the rounds this night. You happen to be in Moda, not too far away from where I am, so you're just the first on my list to check. Is everybody else here?
We've been here the whole time, so I think the others are downstairs doing something. I don't know what all their little science projects.
Yes. Damn order not wanting to take sides on anything. That's my own personal gripe. Can I come in?
And Mikhail kind of looks around for confirmation from somebody with more authority than he.
The people that own the house are in the basement.
We're making drugs in the basement.
We're busy doing important matters.
Well, he looks to the one that's been in the area longer. Priscila. Okay. You come in. We have a little talk, I guess. Come.
Alright, and he kind of... Do you open the door further for him, or does he have to squeeze?
I open it enough for him.
Okay. He steps in and he immediately looks over at Priscilla and kind of his eyes go over her as he looks about the room. Yes, this place has never been furnished. We're assuming everybody else is in the basement.
They're doing... Well, I told you already, so... Yeah, it's just us in here.
Alright, well... Where is Priscilla? And he kind of glances across the room. His face shows no recognition each time he looks over Priscilla. And he goes, and also, who is that person?
And I kind of just make myself known.
Priscilla Nosferatu. He kind of shakes his head. You haunts.
We haven't gotten used to it. Each time we meet.
Well,
Happens every time.
thankfully, you guys keep to the sewers mostly.
I decided to visit the upper world.
Thank you for that. Anyways. Alright, so there's the two of you. Isn't there another one that isn't a scientist? Where are they? Sylvia.
Where is Sylvia? I have not heard from her.
Regardless. So, I'm sure the two of you are aware of what happened at the bar. You guys were close to the prefect, about as close as I was. I mean, we've worked on things together. Not so much you, Mikhail, with you being new to the area. I can crush you off my list, right?
Yeah, I've met him a few times. We have good times. I liked him.
Well, I mean the bar incident.
Oh, yeah, I have been here.
He looks over at Priscila.
Are you asking me the same question? Do I get a different set of questions?
No, you get the same question I asked him.
I've been here. I've decided to visit the upper world instead of being in the sewers. The sewers is quite nice right now, but I decided to escape the smell at least for a while.
Well, I hope you're telling me the truth, because... And he kind of pats the inside of his breast pocket. I'm gonna have to take care of some business. This hits too close to home. And we can't show any sign of weakness, otherwise that elder might get it in his head that we're easy pickings around here. Can't have that. So I need to make an example of somebody by tonight.
Do you need help looking?
Nah, I don't need help with that. What I need you guys to do is to continue your work, though. I know the two Dracul members probably don't care so much, but our missing prefect is an issue, and a serious one at that. We need to find out what happened to him, or at least have an idea of what the hell's going on. You know, my money's on the Invictus. Some other people's money is on you guys, so you guys have a target on your back. Obviously, I've got my own stuff tying me up, so I can't dig further into it as I would like to. It's on you guys to clear your guys' name. Personally, I don't think you need to, but, you know, others would disagree.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by. If you get any leads, let us know. We'd be more than happy to help you.
Of course. Alright, well, I will need to speak with the Dracul members and Sylvia when they get a free moment, but I know better than to walk into a worm's nest and not catch on fire, so I'm just gonna leave. And I'll catch up with them later tonight.
Understood.
Good evening. And he turns and leaves as he hops into his car. Nothing like yours, Mikhail, but it runs.
It runs. It moves.
Close the door.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Well.
that went pretty smooth.
Yeah. I mean, he's good he came here, but although he was pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't want to talk to the other two. I know they're downstairs doing their homework, but I would assume he would have still wanted to speak to them. Just odd.
Maybe he learned his lesson from last time.
But at least now we know for a fact the others are on to this scene that I've caused. Alright, let's see if they've made any progress.
Da.
And we head downstairs.
Well, the progress was pretty much finished as stated. With the addition of Vitae, further modification is going to be complicated, so there is enough, not really to mass produce and sell it, but there's enough for plants to plant it on people.
Alright. Is it ready enough, you guys?
saying?
Are you ready? Is it ready enough, or do you need a little more time?
Enough for what we're doing with it. It's good enough.
It's all we need is good enough. Just enough to put a little over here, a little over there.
So
Raise a little hell.
we'll just be implanting them? Any other things that we need to do beforehand or during? What exactly is the next step?
Mikhail, any chance you could get some of your less than savory connections to phone this Ari? Just
To
so the
what?
record's there. To phone this Ari. Just so that the records are all there.
Yeah, I think I can get them to do that. Yeah. Although I actually couldn't quite hear what you said.
Yeah, getting some of your contacts to phone Ari, so the phone company has the records of calls going out to her.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Get the paper trail going. Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
Also, are you going to have Are you going to have contacts pick up the plants? Mikhail?
He's gonna put them in like some dead drops, and then they'll come pick them up.
All right.
And can I put us dot of resources into a non-existent paper to create a non-existent paper trail?
All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. It's gonna take a little bit, obviously, creating receipts and the like, but
Yeah.
definitely be done. So the night moves on. We are roughly at around midnight. The coterie has created a few plants, though they've been moved to their dead drop locations. The paper trail has been created. And really now it's more just a waiting game for the cops to pick up on things and for things to get moving. There's not a lot that your hands need to be involved in now that the ball is rolling down the hill. Just gotta wait for it to crush the person that's standing in front of it. Which brings
Back to research.
back the words of the enforcer to Mikhail and Priscila's mind.
Which word specifically?
Can you repeat those words?
Regarding the current predicament that this side of the strait is seeing with the disappearance of the prefect. And how you guys are underneath a microscope.
Of the what?
Prefect.
Sorry.
Prefect. What is that? Sorry.
That is the term the Carthian movement in this area uses for their leader. His words come back to your guys' mind regarding the disappearance of the prefect and the precarious state things are in.
So...
And remember, the members of the Order in the basement were not aware of your visitor upstairs.
I guess we better go downstairs. And we head downstairs.
Yeah.
As good a time as any.
Yeah. I have nothing else to do. Alright, so I head downstairs. What are they doing now?
That is actually a good question. Now that the drops have been made, the drugs have been made, what are the two of you preoccupying yourself with?
Well, I am hurting a bit because, unfortunately, there's no healthy people around. So I think I'm gonna start gathering materials, or maybe preemptively making, doing the blood chemistry merit, the first dot of that, the cinnabar stuff. Gathering the materials to prepare some of that, and again going out to find some unlucky drunkard to be the assistant there.
All right. They're going to come downstairs before you end up being able to leave, but all right. Louis.
Yeah, probably just a bit of kind of clearing up some of the from the experiment that I was trying earlier. Different formulas combined with Kindred's anatomy, and just seeing what doesn't catch fire. And so far, nothing has. So it's pretty much sweeping up ash.
All right.
Just cleaning up tools and all kinds of things.
All right. So, Priscilla and Mikhail, you are downstairs.
So our friend Sham paid us a visit. I'm sure you all remember him. Big guy, kind of burly. And apparently my little charade caused a little bit more than just a headline in the news. It seems that they think not just a vampire or one of our kind did it, but maybe it's in connection to our missing prefect.
Well, I mean, you can tell us firsthand if it is.
Yeah, well, it's not me. I didn't. What? No.
Okay. Well, then he clearly did not see you as responsible, so nothing to worry about, I presume.
Oh, he's suspicious anyway. Everybody is going to be on
It's
high
fine though.
alert.
Muddy the waters. You won't see anything. All being well and good, you'll get away with this, and no one will ever be any the wiser except the four of us here in this room, right here, right now.
I think the only one that's really in the clear is Sylvia.
Well, she's not here, so what is to say they cannot blame her for this? There is no one in the clear when it comes to suspicious kindred.
That is true. Bring up a good point. Though I don't think I'm personally ready to point fingers at her. She's done me quite a few favors. So even if it was her, my hands are tied. So, what's next? We're gonna have to be very careful.
Well, I am preparing a alchemical mixture to heal my own wounds from unfortunately having to drink of the sick. If anyone else is wounded, I suppose it could make more than one batch.
No, I'm fine for now.
I'm quite filled.
I imagine you are.
So, as you leave Zlata, give me a perception check as you look for your unwilling participant.
I can't. Perception.
Finally got a success today.
Fine.
You're able to find a nice hobo laying underneath some newspapers on a bench somewhere that you can drag off if necessary, depending on what this procedure requires you to do.
I just need him to drink a bit of a concoction of materials and collect what he vomits up. So, nothing out of the ordinary for the homeless. No one would think twice.
Nobody would think twice about the homeless vomiting, but somebody collecting his vomit might be a little odd.
They're not homeless.
So you pour it down his throat?
But no. Well, presumably I have to make the roll to actually create it. I'll probably succeed just because of, I'm rolling a decent amount of dice. But knowing my luck, I might not, and I might have to waste materials to do it again.
Give me the roll.
So, should be minus the dot, okay.
Sometimes all
Then I have to use a point of my vitae to create it, because I don't have any human blood. Whatever. Yeah, so I pour my mix of mercury sulfide and turpentine into a discarded alcohol bottle or something, and I offer him a drink.
Yummy.
wakes up a little dazed and is like, "Oh, thank you," and he drinks it. And I'm not even gonna make him roll a stamina check on this. Like, he's gonna straight vomit that up. Like, that is the most unappetizing mixture of chemicals I have ever heard, personally.
Hey, it's chemistry, man.
For science.
And I collect the results and I return home to dry it.
This is the life of... Yeah, okay.
I need to kill myself, man. It's the cheapest way to do it.
Does anybody have any comments on the puke that he is now attempting to dry?
What is that? Where did you get that?
Oh,
This is something to help you heal. It's good for you. It's like eating your broccoli.
After some time with
No.
Zlata, I've learned it's sometimes best not to ask.
It looks like you're trying to eat someone else's broccoli after they already ate it.
Well, I don't know how long this takes to dry, but as soon as it's dried, I'm eating it to heal my damage.
and people look at me with disgust.
Priscilla's got a point.
And this is why not everyone is cut out for the order. Too weak-willed to do.
Paint
Quite-
me weak. I'd rather not.
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Vampire the Requiem 2nd Edition Bloody Waters, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion Anthology. Written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener. If you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. And as always, comments are welcomed. Until the next chapter, how will you satisfy that thirst? And with what?